Hey everybody, welcome back to our cooking series. I'm Dr. Erin Mayfield of Lifestyle Medicine, Wellness and Recovery, LLC. So we are so excited today to have Dr. Erin Presant. She's an osteopathic physician, but also an accomplished board-certified neurologist, a fellowship-trained movement specialist, and a culinary medicine physician in Santa Barbara, California. She has experience working in the university environment, also experience in private practice, and is passionate about helping patients improve their health with powerful whole plant nutrition. She's going to talk to you about what culinary medicine is and how she uses it to help people. Her business and name and website name is Medicine of Yum. She offers live interactive courses online so that people can access them in the privacy of their homes. And you get to work with Dr. Presant directly for a personalized approach to achieve your goals. So here she is, and welcome, Dr. Presant.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mayfield, and thanks for having me. It's always so much fun to cook in these different environments, and I love doing it virtually so everybody can be in their own kitchen and using the things that they actually have on hand. So culinary medicine really kind of opened up a whole different world of medicine for me when I learned about it. And I thought, wow, that is just so important. And it's something that we as physicians didn't really learn much about, at least when I was in medical school. And a lot of physicians don't even incorporate it in their practice. So I thought,
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, even as a neurologist, where we might think, well, it doesn't really apply, we think of hypertension and diabetes, but there's so much out there that can do a lot for your brain and your risk of cognitive decline later on. So
that's right.
I love culinary medicine. I love educating people about what they're putting in their bodies and how it affects their health, their overall health, everything. So
fantastic. Yes, we have the same passion because it is a critical issue. It really is everything. How can your body heal and repair itself unless you give it the correct tools to do that?
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. I love thinking of, we've heard the food as medicine, but as a tool. I love that too. Food as a tool to heal your body. I love that. So and I mean, it can be a little daunting, I think, for people when we're like, oh, you have to just eat well. People don't know what that means. So I like to focus on, I have 2 young kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Wow.
It's hard sometimes to get healthy stuff on the table, healthy stuff that they'll eat, right? So I'm always kind of looking for things. And this is one of our favorite recipes. They are big into kind of the pancakes, waffles in the morning. And so I'm always looking for ways to make that healthier and not so sugar-filled, and maybe incorporate a little bit of vegetable or fruit in there as well. So that's where this recipe is coming from. I've adapted it from a couple different places. And so I guess we'll go ahead and get started.
Oh, fun.
Yes. So I'm actually going to use a purple sweet potato. So these are sweet potato waffles. And this was a really large purple sweet potato, so it was huge. So I cut it in half. And I went ahead and just microwave this before the class, so it would be nice and soft. So you can do it really quickly. You punch some holes in it, put it in the microwave for 2-3 minutes, and make it soft. Then just let it cool. Or you could cook it whatever way you want, but I find that that's the fastest and easiest way to get this going. Mm-hmm. So we have the purple sweet potato, and you can use any color sweet potato, really. But I have recently become a big fan of the purple sweet potato just because of all the different health properties of the purple sweet potato, where it has a lot of those antioxidants because of the purple color. In fact, purple sweet potatoes have more of those antioxidants than cultivated blueberries. So they're really high in those good anthocyanins, which help with our immunity and help with brain functioning and focusing. So I love the purple sweet potato, and then they come out purple, and my daughter just thinks that's the best thing in the world to have purple waffles.
Oh, I bet. I think kids must think that it's just a blast to eat purple waffles.
Yeah, exactly. They love it. They love it. You can also use the orange sweet potatoes, are great as well. I mean, those have a lot of vitamin A and beta carotene. And so those are great as well. They're a little bit sweeter too than the purple sweet potatoes. So maybe people have more of a sweet tooth. You can use that without any added sugar. And then this is flour, but I use whole wheat pastry flour. And I like pastry flour because it's softer. But I make sure it's whole wheat. So the difference between the whole wheat pastry flour and just whole wheat flour is that the whole wheat pastry flour is milled from a soft white flour versus the whole wheat flour is milled from a red hard wheat. So you get a harder texture. The pastry flour has a little less protein because of the wheat that it's milled from, but it's still whole wheat, so you're still getting all those nutrients from the bran and the germ.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so I love the whole wheat flour, the whole wheat pastry flour. I use it in all kinds of baked goods. And then we have oats, which is another great whole grain that we that helps us to fulfill that requirement for our day. And then rather than using eggs, I go ahead and replace it with some applesauce.
Fantastic.
So, and that helps with the sweetness. So I buy the unsweetened applesauce. And as we all know, apples are very sweet by themselves. So you really don't need any added sugar there, which is great. And then I go ahead and use a plant-based milk that's unsweetened as well. Now, in our family, we have not been the biggest fans of like almond milk. So we use macadamia nut milk, unsweetened macadamia nut milk. So we like that. But really, you could probably use cashew milk, almond milk, oat milk, as long as they're unsweetened. That's one thing that you have to be careful of because they get a lot of additives and sweeteners in there if you're not careful. And then we have some baking powder.
Okay.
And a little bit of cornstarch, which helps. And because there is no egg or anything in there, it does help to kind of crisp them up a little bit, just a little bit of cornstarch there. And in my family, we like pumpkin pie spice year round. So I use that. But you could use cinnamon, or even if you had an unsweetened like chai seasoning, you could do that. Any of that is yummy, yummy. And a little touch of vanilla as well. Just, again, sometimes these spices that we put in there can be almost replace sugar, right? So we get those that sugary or sweet flavor from cinnamon and vanilla, and you don't even need to add any sugar, which is great. So I love that. And then we do just a touch of orange zest, give it a little brightness, and it all just goes into this blender here. You could throw in just a pinch of salt if you wanted, but I usually do not. And we just put it in the blender. Now you get a pretty thick batter overall. 1 second here.
Okay.
Just gonna go ahead and push that down. So the batter is pretty thick. If you could turn this into pancakes as well, if you wanted to do that, I would just add a little more of the plant-based milk to make it funnier. And so I may need to, and sometimes, it depends on the potato I find. And sometimes I'm more meticulous about measuring out the potato than other times, exactly 3/4 cup. And sometimes I just throw it in there. And then I just add in maybe a tablespoon more of milk, of the plant-based milk at a time if the batter is just too heavy, too thick. All right, there we go. I love that. I know it's loud. Then I just stir it up a little bit and get the oats sometimes like to hide on the bottom there. So, but you can see that you're getting this really pretty purple. It almost looks like Play-Doh, right?
That's amazing.
And it's like beautiful and yummy that the kids really enjoy. So one more time, I'm just gonna mix this.
Okay. Just so you know, we really hardly hear it running at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hear you turn it on and then all of a sudden it's pretty quiet.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I never know. You never know really on some of these electronic things how loud it is, because sometimes if you're on the phone and doing dishes, somebody's like, "What's happening?" And then other times they can't hear anything. So. All right. So then so I'm going to go ahead and make the waffles, and you can tell it's a pretty thick batter, but
I
they'll
see.
work just fine for waffles. Again, if you want to do pancakes, you don't have a waffle iron, no problem. A little bit more milk. You could even reduce a little bit of the flour that you put in there, and just go with those oats, those whole grains. So I've already heated this up, and we're going to just go ahead and pour that on there if you can see that.
Oh, that is really pretty. Yes, we can see it perfectly.
Pretty. I know. I realized I was like, oh, I should have planned something that was green because of St. Patrick's Day coming up, but instead we're doing purple. So
This is beautiful.
A post Valentine's Day purple breakfast, I guess.
That's it. We'll do another one with something for St. Patty's Day.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, these the color is beautiful. The kids love them. We don't even usually, they don't want any maple syrup or anything on them. Sometimes they want a little bit of something. You could put little honey or something. I tend to, if they want something like that, I put it in a little dish for them. I don't put the whole container out there on the table for them to just go for it. And I find that they're happy with that. You know, they're just fine with that.
They get a taste, but it's not too much. Absolutely.
And so that way it's a good way of limiting that sugar that they're putting in their bodies in the morning, all of us, since we really don't need to have those big glucose spikes in the morning.
That's right.
The fiber in these waffles, so if you are kind of that pancake waffly kind of person in the morning, the fiber with the sweet potato in here is great to help to kind of like balance out your glucose, so you're not getting that huge rush.
Yes.
And that drop. The fiber, as we know, it's good for your gut and helps with lowering your LDL cholesterol, which is wonderful. Right. So all of these things are really great. A great way to start your day. You can put berries on top of the waffles, and that'll add a little bit more fiber, a little bit more sweetness without the added sugar. A little bit of nuts. I like pecans on top, which I think.
Oh, great idea.
Really good. They're one of my favorites. I could put pecans on everything. So, all right. So I'm just gonna see how this is. You guys can see the smoke there. Sorry.
It's cooking fast too.
It is. Yeah, it's a pretty fast waffle maker. I hadn't really been much into waffles until my kids were like, "Why don't we ever have waffles?" So then I went up, okay, I'll try to find some waffles.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's always these also, if I have a lot of sweet potatoes, like I'll probably go ahead and cook up the rest of, this is the other half of the sweet potato. It was like huge. I'll probably go ahead and cook it up into these waffles, and they freeze so well. I put them in my freezer in the morning,
really?
Take them out, put them in the toaster oven, heat them up.
Oh, fantastic. That's wonderful to know.
Yeah.
So you can actually batch cook these too.
Absolutely. I am a big fan of anything I can batch cook and pull out of the freezer, especially in the mornings when everybody's trying to get out the door, or even as a snack. You know, they're a good snack as well. No added sugar and lots of fiber. So just gonna go.
It's interesting how the batter spread out in the pan once you close the lid.
Yeah, it did. It spread out really well. I use the spatula sometimes to just kind of help spread it there, but you can see, let me move that way a little bit. And so then you can put a little bit of pecans or something on top. My daughter managed to eat all the berries this morning, so I don't have berries, but they're so pretty on there. And when you cut them, they're that beautiful color inside, and you know you're getting all those great antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents from that beautiful color of the potato.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
I can't wait to make this. It is going to be delicious.
Yeah, they are delicious. They are a favorite in our house and a staple. And yeah, around Thanksgiving, using those orange sweet potato, or Halloween, and all that stuff works really well too. The kids think that it's so fun.
So would you be able to get another full waffle out of the batch that you just made, or even more?
Probably at least 2 more. I think probably at least 2 more, and maybe one like smallish one that I kind of smush in the center. Yeah, I'm thinking the other day I made some, and I think I got like three this size, and maybe one that was a little smaller.
Oh, good, neat.
Yeah.
So we'd love to hear about your courses and how that works and all those wonderful things.
Great. So So right now I'm teaching culinary medicine courses online. So I love it because people are in their own kitchens. And so, if somebody can't find a purple sweet potato, it can be like, well, what could I use instead? Or the substitutions, or whatever you might have, whatever your flavor profile might be. And we alter recipes to kind of make it as healthy as possible with what people have. I do individualized sessions. So let's say you have pre-diabetes or hypertension, and you're looking for ways to incorporate healthy food, learn how to cook with low sodium, or
fantastic.
How do I even cook with plants and nothing else? Those kinds of things.
Okay.
So I work one-on-one with people to personalize towards their health goals and their health needs. Also, I run like 6-week-long courses. At least that's what I'm running right now, where we meet once a week with a group, up to usually about 7 people in all different parts of the country, which is fun. And we do some education. So it'll be a topic like fats or something.
Nice.
Sodium, why it's, what it does to our bodies, about half an hour of that. And then we cook some recipes together, which is a lot of fun. And everybody gets to share how it's going for them and ask questions. And we talk about how what we make relates to our health and what it's doing for our bodies. So I really enjoy it. I love watching people kind of have these dynamic changes in their kitchen, realizations about their health, and even the baby steps that we get to see people, making, like, oh, I could use a plant-based milk. I don't have to put dairy in this recipe, and it's really easy. It doesn't have to be hard, right? So
yes,
I just really love seeing that. I still do a lot of outreach to the Parkinson's community, which is my specialty. It's my specialty. And even I really enjoy giving talks on brain health and how the food relates to our brain and aging and all of that. So.
Oh, well, that's cool. So can you talk just a minute about how food relates to aging and our brain health?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because we really don't hear about that in the media, but it's a critical issue because what we eat does affect our brains. So we'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. I mean, I could talk for hours, right? But I won't. But it does affect our brains because the foods that we put into our body, we eat so much processed food, so much sugar. While the FDA has banned trans fats are actually still found in a lot of the processed goods. And those things are so bad for our brain because it creates this chronic inflammation. So it creates this inflammation in our gut, which we know is tied to our brain. A lot of that research is still being done to kind of really parse out how that mechanism works. But we do know that there's a connection there, and that the more kind of chronic inflammation you have in your body, the more brain inflammation you're going to see, which leads to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. We have seen a really good study that came out regarding Parkinson's disease and the intake of flavonoids that come from berries.
Wow.
Maybe some red wine too, but people who had higher intake of berries overall did better, even once they were diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. So we also know that increasing fiber from plant sources and decreasing saturated fat reduces our LDL cholesterol, which
Yes.
is not good for our heart, but it's also not good for our brain blood vessels either. And creates this like permeability of the blood vessels and inflammation and plaques, and increases your risk of stroke. So all of those things are tied together. You know, it's blood vessel health, but it's also kind of this chronic stress that our body and our brains can have from kind of this processed sugary food that we put into our body.
Yeah.
And the constant sugar too is one of the worst things, right? These elevated glucose
Really?
levels, we know, is bad for our metabolism, so diabetes and things, but also having those chronically elevated sugar levels are bad for our brain, and creates this stress in our brain that leads to, we think, more formation of plaques and lead to worsening cognition later on as we age.
Yeah, it is. It's staggering.
Yeah.
And it's exciting work to know that all of this works together. And it's absolutely fascinating because our bodies are such a miracle. And yet, I think as far as the general public goes, they just don't hear enough about how all of these things do affect the brain and how they function. You know, we hear a lot about our heart, but we don't really hear about all of these nuances that affect our thinking. Right. So this is just wonderful information.
Yeah, I think everybody can benefit from it. You know, we are all aging humans, no matter what age we are. Right?
The world keeps turning no matter what.
That's right. That's right.
So let's make it the best that we can make it.
That's right. And it's really never too late to start. You know, I talk to people who are like, well, I'm already, you know, however old, it's too late for me. It's never too late. That's right. Know, you can go ahead and start changing those habits little by little, and it will make a difference, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And we know from the genetic studies, which is so exciting, you know, when you eat the right foods and you get enough sleep, your telomeres increase in length. Right. And when you eat terrible food and you don't get enough sleep, your telomeres shorten and you age faster. Absolutely. It's just amazing. I know. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff.
I know sometimes it gets broken down so simply, like you just said it, and it's like, why wouldn't I do that? You know?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. When you think about it, it's just phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah. So we do have power over our destiny.
We do.
Right? We're not just prisoners of our genetics. That's
right. Genetics play a role, but we play a big role with what we put into our body and how we move every day and or don't move. Those are all such important things and can really make such a huge difference.
So. Absolutely. Well, this has just been a lovely presentation. I can't wait to make your waffles. It's going to be a regular around here, I know for sure. And we will have all of your contact information in our show notes. Great. And if there's anything else you'd like to throw out there, I hope lots of people sign up for your courses and take advantage of this. It's just fun to work with you, and there's so much to learn. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Well, thank you as well. And yeah, I guess my message is just, it's never too late. Baby steps and keep moving forward, right?
That's right. And have fun doing it. That's the main thing. Have
fun. Absolutely.
Good. Well, thank you again so much. It's been delightful.
Thank you.